So, just for general purposes, hopefully I have enough space on this, but I'm just going to make sections and then write what I have in each of those. So, herbs, I have a section. Leaf, vegetables, herbs, leaf, vegetables. This pen's going. Leaf, vegetables, fruit, vegetables, root, vegetables, and then other vegetables, things that don't fall into that any of those. Excuse me for a moment. I need to get a refill for this pen. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that, but it's definitely empty. All right, there's my empty one. Bye bye. Here's my new one. Find the edge of it. And hello. Take the cap off. That's much better. Sorry. There we go. And that should work perfectly. So, fruit veg, root veg, other vegetables, fruit, herbs, leaf vegetables, fruit, root, other actual fruit, and then flowers. All right. So I'm gonna go get my seeds and start sorting. All right, I got my seeds. So many seeds. And we're gonna start sorting them. Try and be quiet. Let's see, I have carrots. Let's see if I can pull all my carrots out. That's a squash. That's herbs. I'll make a pile of herbs up there. Herbs. Carrots. Those are radishes. Those are onions, radishes, carrots, radishes. Ooh, I have one left. Heirloom choga beets. I have one seed left. The other ones didn't grow. Nobody made it. There's my, that's a different one. Let's see, carrots. And that's beans. Cabbage. Beets can go up here. I don't even know if you guys can see up there. No, you can't see up there. Move it down. There, beets. It's leafy stuff. Peas. Herbs. 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 Carrots. Beets. 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 More peas. More radish. More onions. Cabbage. Turnips. I need to buy a new variety of turnips. Let's see, spinach. That can go over there. Dill. China rose radish. Those are delicious. I have like a ton of pak choy seeds. I think I'm just gonna plant this. It's pak choy. but it never matures very well. So I think I'm just gonna plant it and harvest it all as baby stuff and just get rid of the seed. Kohlrabi. Put that over here with the cabbage. There's my radish. More radishes. What is this? This is mustard greens. I already have some, but I'll plant some more. And then I have some collards that I got last year's seed swap. I started growing some, but they were viciously mutilated. Alright, so root vegetables. I do have potatoes. They're in my fridge though. So I'll list them, but I'm not pulling them out. I guess I should pull them out and see how they look. Potatoes. I think I have 3 varieties. Let me go check. They've been in a paper bag at the back of my fridge since the end of last summer. I haven't looked at them once, so I have no idea how they're doing. Hopefully they'll be all right. Let's see. It's not quite planting season, and they look great. Not the least bit wrinkly. Those are my russets. Oh, some of them are starting to get eyes, but the russets look good. Eyes are fine. Russets. Purple potatoes. These are very starchy. And some red potatoes. None of my potatoes did like super great last year, so these are actually fairly large ones. Like I saved a lot of my bigger ones specifically for planting. So. But they've been in the fridge, in this crate, and in a paper bag, back where they can't be bothered. And they're doing really, really well. So I'm very happy with that. For those of you who don't know, you don't plant potatoes from seed. You plant them from potatoes. I'll stick those back in the fridge later. Let's see, we have russets, red, and purple. And then I'm going to do my carrots. Let's see what we have in carrots. Not as many as I do in radishes, but still. See, I might have some more, but I think this is basically it. At least variety-wise. I have Parisian. I like radish size, kind of little tiny round things. And then I have these petite sweet little fingers, which just sounds weird. And Amarillo, which I have a bunch of because last year Baker Creek had them. I ordered some, and then Baker Creek had them as their free extra seed packets that they send you. So I have like 3 packets of Amarillo seeds. I have Black Nebula, which if you looked at my previous video, link will be in the description where I was pulling up stuff. You'll see those have a tendency to get really hairy, and that one definitely was. And Cuttigen carrots. I might have one of those growing out in the garden. I'm not sure because it's still so tiny I can't really tell. So those are my carrots. I'll write those down. Alright, so I just wrote down my turnips real quick. I just have purple top. I think I'm going to get some other varieties from Baker Creek though. We'll see what I get in the seed swap first, then I'll decide if I want to buy a few more things. So radishes, I have Chinese green Louisville. Last year I had some good ones, but they didn't get that big. China rose radish, which I got in a seed swap. These are amazing. Love those. I need to consolidate these because these are both the same thing. Oops. Sorry, doing things one-handed. Cherry bell, red radishes. The brown package are ones I've saved. And then there's icicle radishes, which grow really fast. So if you want fast growing variety. These two grow really fast. The icicle are the fastest. They're super fast. This one says matures in 22 days, but seriously, these things they're the fastest. I also have black Spanish, which I haven't processed yet. All the seed pods are dried in a bag. I haven't finished processing them yet, and I have my own special variety that I think I'm gonna name Purple Ice, because it's a mix between these cherry bell and an icicle radish, and it comes out purple. So it was some cross-pollination that happened, and they're really, really tasty. They're rounder like the cherry bell, but they're also a little bit bigger and not really red. They're more of a whitish purple. I'm gonna write those down and then I'll get to the beets. So I just wrote down the beets. I have Detroit Dark, 2 packets because one I had seriously poor germination and I complained, and then the second one I still kept the old ones just on the off chance that there's some good ones in there. I also have Tall Top, which is like a little bit more purpley, and then I have 1 Chioggia seed left from a seed swap last year, and I have Golden Beets. Golden Beets are the only ones that have started to form a root ever, like at all. But if you have any tips for growing beets, please give them to me, because I love beets and I would love to grow them because I like root vegetables, and I just never have any success. So if you have any tips, please let me know. Okay, so I have cabbages, which are leafy things. And then I have some spinach, which was also terrible, and arugula. And let me dig around. I have collards. I have kale and chard. Oh, there's my black Spanish radishes. I knew they were here somewhere. Stick them in with the other radishes. And let's see, those are beans, peppers. Do I have more leafy things? I'm sure I've got some lettuce or something. There we go. There's some musclin mix, which never grows very good, but something. I think that's it for that. Should be it. If I find more, I'll stick them in later. So, lettuce, chard, kale, cabbage, arugula, collards, some spinach. Let's get those put together. Okay, so I ran across another one, which I thought I had more. So that's loose leaf lettuce. Loose leaf blend, and then this is some Bright Lights Swiss chard, which is pretty similar to the rainbow, except it's a little bit brighter colors. Makes sense, right? Bright Lights. Okay, so those are my leafy things. Now, these are my other, just to clarify. So like, celery is a stalk. It's not really a fruit, it's not really a leaf, so I'm sticking that in that category. Also, kohlrabi is pretty much the stalk. Broccoli is, it's a stalk and a flower. This is early purple sprouting, which I have one out there, but I don't think it's gonna make it and actually do anything. So I might just plant some early and hope I get something out of it this year. I have some bearded wheat. Not very much, just a bit. I might throw it in there somewhere, just a little corner of wheat. And then mini pink popcorn, which is a dried fruit, so it's still technically a fruit, but I'm going to put it in the other section. I think I also have, where is it? Maybe not. Don't know. No. Okay. Anyway, if it pops up later, I'll put it in that section. I think I have some regular broccoli somewhere, but I'm not sure where it is. So those are the things that are going in my other category. Right. So I have beans now, which obviously fall into the category of fruit, but I do have, fruit vegetable. I have a lot of different kinds of beans. I like growing beans. I like growing radishes. Those are some of my favorites. So this is a Chinese long bean. That's a really big favorite. If you have hot, humid summers, it does great. It's native to Southeast Asia, so it thrives on heat and humidity. There's a little bit more light. Sorry about that. This is royalty purple pot. I think that's a bush bean. Yeah, bush snap bean. That's purple. What other beans do I have? I have so many beans. These are slippery silks. Those are a dried bean. So they good, like, grow well on corn. If you grow corn, that's tomato. Don't need tomatoes yet. I have two sets of peas. This is dwarf gray sugar peas, and this is snowbird peas, which these are a few of the originals. I have a bunch of saved ones that I just need to use it up because a lot of those are old. There's another tomato. Tomato. Oh, that would go in the other section. This goes in the other section. That's Hoppy Red Dye Amaranth, which is edible. Let's see. Oh, there's more radishes. Like I said, I really need to consolidate packages because I have multiple packages of the same thing. These are dragon tongue beans. They're a bush bean. Fava beans, I've never had very much luck. But last year I did get like a couple decent sized pods. So I didn't eat them, I just saved them. So honestly, I have to be honest, I've never had fava beans. I don't even know if I like them. But they looked amazing, so I bought some. And I've been trying to grow them for 3 years, and that's all I've gotten. I'll show you. It's the only seeds I've ever been able to save off of them. Hopefully, next year will be better. So, that's all. That's all you get from Sandy Loam. Anyway, yellow bush beans. These were some that Gwenny picked last year. They're Meraviglia di Venezia. I'm not sure if I said that right. I'm guessing it's Italian. There's peppers. This I got in a seed swap. It's Triunfo Violetto beans. There's a tomato. What are these? Oh, these are extra carrots. See, I ended up getting 2 packets of Amarillo carrots, and I didn't know that they were going to be free packets. So now I have 3 packets of Amarillo carrots. And they're very, very tasty carrots, so that's okay with me. I'm always good with extra carrots. There's some more tomatoes. I need to decide which tomatoes I actually want to do this year. That's fruit. These are to try. They're Barlato beans, which were actually from the grocery store, but we used them as a school experiment, and they actually did germinate and grow fairly well. So I'm going to plant some and see if they get any fruit on them. These are cayenne peppers, which we don't really use much, but they're fun to grow. More peppers, more peas. Same one. There's 3 bags of those. More peppers, more tomatoes, more tomatoes. Okay. This is an empty bag because my green beans didn't grow last year. That's just an empty bag in case I ever have green beans again. These are Blahildi beans, which are very tasty. I've actually got another one on the shelf that I just found that was in a basket drying somewhere. More tomatoes. That's cute. 1 lonely eggplant seed. So I planted these Casper eggplants. There was 4 seeds. I planted 3. 2 of them died. One of them lived a miserable existence until the end of August. In the end of August, it took off like crazy. And it got flowers all over it, but it didn't actually get to produce any fruit before it died from frostbite. So hopefully this one will give us something. 1 lonely seed. All our hope lies in you, little seed. Alright. Back to what we were talking about. There's my broccoli. Decisio broccoli. Got that seed swap, so I'll stick that over here. There we go. And these, which I didn't get any last year, but my mom got some, and I had given them to her, so she let me have some to save. These are succotash beans, native to New England, I believe. So those are a dried bean. And I think that's all my beans for now. Alright, so I just went ahead and went through the rest of most of the rest of my fruiting vegetables. So for peppers, I have orange bell peppers, I have California Wonder, lipstick peppers, cayenne peppers, and chili peppers. And then tomatoes, I have striped German, purple Russian, black Vernissage, white grapes, pearly pink cherries, Cherokee purple, red grapes. Another one that I saved seeds from my mom's garden. I'm not sure the exact variety, but it's similar to a beefsteak, where it's like a big meaty red tomato, but it's not a beefsteak, it's a different one. And then a cherry tomato and orange grape. Then under fruit, I have ground cherries, which are also called Cape gooseberries, and probably some other things. We used to eat them all the time in China. Like when they're in season, you just get piles and piles of them in bags for really cheap, and they're delicious, and they keep really well inside these papery husks. They look similar to a tomatillo, how they have the papery husk on the outside, but they're sweeter. They are related to tomatoes, but they don't have the tomato flavor necessarily. Anyway, they're really easy to grow, and they're super delicious. I'll be growing a lot more of them this year than I did last year, I think. So there's those. I think that might be my only actual fruit from seed. So now it's time to do flowers. Alright, so as you can see, I've got a big pile. Some of them are just like, these are marigolds. These ones are just like regular marigolds, and these ones are a like fancy variety. I don't know what exactly the name is. I got them in a seed swap, but they're like that really rich, dark burgundy kind of color in the middle and really bright orangey yellow on the outside. Really pretty. So I've got lots of those. I bought this chamomile last year from Baker Creek Seeds, and it's supposed to be extra large flowers, extra big bushy plants. It says Polish variety, has wonderful aromas, used to make teas. It doesn't talk about the plants on here, but seriously, it's some of the best chamomile I've ever grown. There's so many flowers on it, and I mean, like, some of them were, I don't know, like this big around. I saved those ones for seed. I didn't use those ones. They were huge though. So it's Latilan chamomile. It's great. These are sunflowers. These are an eating variety, but they didn't come out super big. So I'm just gonna kind of keep growing and saving seeds till I feel like they're at a reasonable size. I bought these last year and not a single one of them grew. It's a canary creeper nasturtium. I don't know why, nasturtiums just don't like me. I also have Tripolium rubinium, and I don't know. It's like a peachy coral color. And these ones, these are all trailing varieties, which, like I said, none of them grew, none of them trailed. Okay, that's not true. Some of them grew, but they didn't, I don't know, they didn't do what I thought they were going to do at all. And hardly any flowers. There's some bush ones that I got. Dwarf Jewel Mix. Those are my nasturtiums. There's some more sunflowers. These are evening sunflower mix, evening sun mix. It had some of the most gorgeous dark burgundy colors in them. They were so pretty. Let's see. I have coneflower, which I have yet to get any coneflowers out of. I have two because I complained about the germination. They sent me more. That one didn't have good germination either. There's some more sunflowers. Let's see. Poppies. This is mother of pearl poppy. I ordered this before I realized that only certain kinds can be used for bread seed, really. And these have the tiniest seeds, but they are such a pretty flower. If you look on my Instagram, look back to last summer, you can see some of them. They're absolutely gorgeous. I have seeds I saved. I should just kind of consolidate them probably. But there's that. And I did buy last year, I bought some Hungarian bluebread seed, which only one of those grew, and it was the teeniest, tiniest poppy flower ever. Like, didn't get any seeds in it really. It was really cute, but not, really worth it. So, let's see, hollyhocks. I have hollyhocks. This is the first kind I got because it was the only kind I could see my English, goodness. Anyway, it's a dwarf one, so it only gets like 2 to 3 feet tall, which was kind of disappointing when I realized it, but they were still really pretty. So I had those, and then last year I decided to splurge because I really wanted tall hollyhocks, and I got these jet black or Nigra hollyhocks, which apparently were grown at Monticello as well, a favorite there. So those are the kind that can grow up to like 12 feet tall and be gorgeous. And I planted some last year, nice and early, in hopes that I would get some flowers last year and not have to wait till this year. But the plants didn't make it at all. So I have once again tried that. Here's some more marigolds. Hopefully this year I'll have some pretty hollyhocks. But you never know. This was Cosmos, but I think it's empty. There's a few in there. I'll have to plant those this year. A few Cosmos seeds. I love Cosmos. When I went to Brazil, there was just like, it was everywhere, all over the side of the road. This is Nigella, or Nigeria. I don't know actually how to pronounce it. I think it's common name is Love in a Mist. I got that from a seed swap too. Not a lot of those grew, but some of them grew and they were so pretty. There's bachelor buttons. They grew great. Fun for garnish. These are scabiosa, which none of those grew last year either. So we'll try again this year. Cleome, safflower, none of those grew. I think I have 2 packets of those from different seed swaps. But apparently you can use them as a substitute for saffron. They're kind of like a faux saffron for people who can't afford saffron. There's some more marigolds. Seriously, I have way too many marigold seeds. More coneflower. This was gorgeous. This split second morning glory. It's like a ruffled pink morning glory. It's so pretty. Coxcomb. That didn't really completely grow out. I mean, like, I got some, but not really. There's my zinnias. This is zinnia seed that I saved. I'm growing lots of zinnias this year because zinnias are great. They just grow and grow and grow and you can't get them down. There's, these are some morning glory seeds that I captured when we were at the Renaissance Fair because they had a whole tunnel of morning glories and lots of seed pods, so I grabbed some seeds. This was some Gerber daisy seeds I saved a couple years ago, and some verbena, which I only got one of those to grow last year. They are the tiniest seeds. Let me see if I can show you. They are so minuscule. I don't want to make a mess, but seriously, they are so tiny. See how tiny those are? There we go. So tiny. I think I planted like hundreds of them last year and only one of them actually grew into a plant, which was sad because seriously, I love verbena so much. There will be more this year, one way or another. There's some more bachelor buttons. Globe amaranth, that did not grow at all last year. I have this one I bought. Pacific Beauty Mix Calendula. I got a couple of those. And I got some Snow Princess Calendula from a swap, which it feels like this might be empty. Yeah, it's empty. So no Snow Princess, unless somebody sends me more. But this was a free gift. It was bee balm, lemon bee balm. That didn't grow too big, but it was still pretty, a little bit that came out. This is Papaveria Poppy Mix. I didn't get to grow any of those last year either, so hopefully this year I'll have some. And this, I think I only have 2 seeds left of this stock in apricot, which I've seen pictures of it. It's so gorgeous. I hope those, no wait, there's 3. There's 3 seeds left. Hopefully I can get a flower or 2 out of that this year. If not, oh well. This is yarrow. If anybody knows how to pronounce it, let me know, because I don't know if I'm saying it right. This is a Colorado mix, which I did actually get some to grow last year, but they didn't flower. It's still out in the yard. I think it just, like once you plant it, it's just there. So hopefully this year it'll get some flowers. We have wild yarrow in our yard, so that's white, and that's pretty. That comes up all over the place. Very medicinal smell. And this was a free gift with a seed swap. It's showy milkweed, and I did get them to grow, but they didn't make it. They didn't survive the summer. Last year was terrible for growing things. So those are all my seeds. So I need to write them down and sort them out and see which packets are empty. I realized that I forgot to mention these. These are blue Thai double blue butterfly pea that I got last year, and unfortunately, I don't know what it was, but they only grew to only a couple of them germinated, and the ones that did only grew a couple of inches, and then they just stayed like 2 or 3 inches tall all summer. Never got any flowers. So hopefully this batch will do better. If not, I'll contact them and be like, hey, these seeds didn't work. So Anyway, time to organize all this stuff. So I got all my flowers done, and now we're back to fruiting vegetables. This is all squash. Then again. Alright, so I said I was done with the fruiting vegetables. I forgot my squashes though. So this is squash and gourd. So the gourd goes under others. Oh, and watermelon and pumpkins and cucumbers. Okay, so this is all my vining squash type related plants that I will now go through. So last year we bought some watermelon. This was Gwenny's choice. It's a pocket watermelon called Benny Kodimi or something like that. And she did get a few, but they didn't get to finish growing. One of them got eaten. One of them wasn't properly pollinated, I think, and it just kind of rotted. But they sent us 2 packs of those by accident and told us to just keep it. And this is my one last Jubilee watermelon, which the vine grew just fine, and it continued to grow even after we had frosts, but it just never got any watermelons on it. So there's that. So we have some watermelon for this year to try. I have these cucumbers. They're Suyo long cucumbers. They're the kind of cucumbers we eat in China. So that's why I got those. This is my cucamelons, which, or Mexican sour gherkins, whatever you want to call them. And I grew some last year, but they just never really grew right, and it didn't get any fruit on them at all. So hopefully this year they'll grow better.
Yeah.
That. And then I have one last Market More 76 cucumber seed from swap last year. Then we have summer squash. I have these lemon squash, and Desi squash. And there was golden crookneck and cocazelli. So then in winter squash, I have green acorn. This is specifically ones that grew in my compost that did really good. Then I have orange acorn and white acorn. Orangetti squash, it's a variety of spaghetti squash. Then there's delicata squash and some mystery pumpkin seeds, which I didn't actually plant any last year, and Connecticut field squash. This one I got last year, but it didn't grow good. I'm hoping they'll grow good this year. It's hoppy pale gray squash. It's supposed to be a really good keeper. So I'd love to try that. I hope that does good this year. So those are all my squash and my melons. And then I have gourds. So I have bushel basket gourds. That's the original packaging. I have ornamental gourds and bottleneck and birdhouse. I have all of those. I also have a few other, I have butternut squash that were still drying and are on a shelf somewhere. So that's about it for all the squash and gourds. So it's time to write those down. Alright, so this is my herbs. Some of them are a bit odd. I had blessed thistle that I got last year to grow for lactation tea, which seriously, these things, I didn't really think about it when I bought. I mean, they are thistles and they are sharp. Like, they're really pretty interesting plants, but not something I really want to be growing or going to seed in my yard. So, yeah, that wasn't really very well thought out, but it's there. I have those seeds in case I ever need to grow that again. This is comfrey, which I mostly bought because it makes a really good compost tea. Unfortunately, my comfrey didn't actually grow well last year. So hopefully this year it'll grow good and I can grow a bunch of it and use it for compost tea. I have lots of basil. I don't actually really do very well with basil for some reason. This is Genevieve's Italian. There's free gift cinnamon basil. This one I bought is opal basil. It's not as prolific as the Genevieve's. And this is Red Freddy, which Gwenny picked out last year. That's flour. Wrong pile. Some more cinnamon basil. And then I have fenugreek, which I also bought for lactation tea. So apparently in like India and stuff, they use it in cooking too. Like use the greens. So I might grow some of that and try some Indian cuisine recipes. There's dill. Lemongrass, which did amazing last year. Evergreen bunching onions. Some Pashiko bunching onions. Regular chives. Chinese chives. Slow bolt cilantro. And wild cleavers. So total, I basically have about 119 different varieties of herbs, vegetables, fruits, and flowers. So technically I probably have way more than enough, but being that I'm a plant person, I'll probably never actually have enough because that's how it usually works. So that's what I have. Now I have to figure out what I'm going to be using this year and where to put it. But that'll be a different video because now I need to go outside and get some work done. So, not really. Actually, I went back and I realized that I had completely missed this whole column. So I actually have about 100 and, what was it? I just lost count. Like 133 varieties, I think, was the final count. Something like that. Anyway, point is I have a lot. And it's time to figure out what I'm going to do with them. Crookneck and Cocazelli. Really?